Now, Alexa Eala, she was given a special security. Thousands of Filipinos who tried to get a glimpse of the star on.
The story begins in Manila at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. Traffic crawls through the city as another ordinary day unfolds, but inside a busy sports bar in Quezon City, the atmosphere is anything but ordinary. Fans have already started filling the seats hours before the first ball is struck, because the match they have been waiting for will not begin until 6 p.m. local time, and no one wants to miss a single moment. Now shift across the world to Mallorca, Spain, where the academy that helped shape one of tennis' brightest young stars is unusually quiet. The courts are still there, the routines continue, but Alexa Eala is gone. For weeks, she has been traveling across Europe, chasing a grass court season that almost nobody predicted would become one of the biggest stories in tennis. Then move north to London, where the famous lawns of the All England Club are preparing for another day of Wimbledon. On Tuesday, June 30th, 2026, the 21-year-old Filipina will walk onto court 12 as the tournament's number 29 seed, carrying far more than her own ambitions. Consider this remarkable statistic. Before Eala, the highest-ranked Filipina in professional tennis history was Maricruz Gens, who reached world number 284 in 1999. Eala arrived at Wimbledon ranked number 30, erasing an astonishing 254 places in the rankings and rewriting what seemed possible for an entire nation. In just one generation, she has transformed the landscape of Philippine tennis, and now that remarkable journey is stepping onto one of the sport's greatest stages. But to understand why this Wimbledon appearance means so much, rewind just 8 days to Bad Homburg, Germany. It was one of those grass court warm-up tournaments that many casual fans barely notice, yet it became the setting for another unforgettable chapter in Eala's rise. She was not only competing in singles, but also sharing the doubles court with 5-time Wimbledon singles champion Venus Williams, one of the most respected legends the WTA Tour has ever produced.
Venus Williams, really like the first person in WTA that was so experienced.
After their partnership, Venus Williams spoke warmly about the young Filipina, describing Alexa Eala as an intensely competitive player and expressing hope that they would have the opportunity to play together again. Coming from a champion whose legacy is woven into the history of Wimbledon itself, those words carried enormous weight. They were more than polite praise. They were recognition from one of the greatest players the sport has ever seen. Long before Eala became one of the biggest stories at Wimbledon, tennis legends were already noticing her talent, determination, and fearless attitude. Those comments offered another powerful sign that the tennis world was beginning to recognize exactly what Alexa Eala was becoming.
She's great. She's very competitive on the court. Just needed a little more time to.
June 29th. One important detail has been overshadowed by the bigger headlines surrounding Alexa Eala's rise, yet it deserves far more attention. Tennis legends do not casually choose doubles partners. When 5-time Wimbledon champion Venus Williams shared the court with Eala in Bad Homburg, it was more than a feel-good moment. It was a quiet endorsement from one of the sport's greatest champions. That week in Germany now feels less like the beginning of Eala's story and more like confirmation that she had already earned the respect of the tennis world. As Wimbledon approached, it would have been easy to frame her opening round match against Mexico's Renata Zarazua, the experienced world number 75, as the central challenge. But that would miss the bigger picture. Zarazua is a proven competitor capable of defeating elite players, yet the true opponent standing in front of Eala is something far less visible. She carries the expectations of a nation of more than 113 million people, a country with virtually no history of producing top professional tennis players. No Filipino man or woman had ever entered a Grand Slam singles draw as a seeded player before her, making every step she takes onto the grass a historic one. That kind of pressure cannot be measured by rankings or statistics, especially for a player who only recently began finding success on grass courts. Just a few months earlier, her resume on the surface was remarkably thin. This is only her second Wimbledon main draw, and while her number 29 seeding reflects the quality of her recent results, it does not come from years of experience at the All England Club. Eala herself acknowledged the growing spotlight during an interview with the Los Angeles Times, explaining that professional tennis is built around pressure but insisting that pressure only has as much power as a player allows it to have. That mindset now becomes the foundation of her Wimbledon campaign. Whether those words hold true will be answered on Court 12, where history and expectation collide. The evidence that she deserves her place among the tournament's seeded players is impossible to ignore. Official rankings confirmed by the WTA on June 22nd made Eala the first Filipino, male or female, to earn a Grand Slam singles seed. She did not simply raise the bar, she broke through a ceiling that had never been touched before. More importantly, that ranking was earned through extraordinary performances rather than reputation alone. On June 7th, she captured the Lexus Birmingham Open, a WTA 125 grass court event, defeating Nikola Bardankova in a hard-fought three-set final to claim the first grass court title of her professional career and the second WTA 125 trophy overall. There was little time to celebrate because the Berlin Open followed immediately, presenting an even greater challenge. In the opening round, Eala defeated Donna Vekic, fresh off her Queen's Club title, in straight sets. The next hurdle appeared even higher when she faced. Explaining that professional tennis is built around pressure, but insisting that pressure only has as much power as a player allows it to have. That mindset now becomes the foundation of her Wimbledon campaign. Whether those words hold true will be answered on Court 12, where history and expectation collide. The evidence that she deserves her place among the tournament's seeded players is impossible to ignore. Official rankings confirmed by the WTA on June 22 made Eala the first Filipino, male or female, to earn a Grand Slam singles seed. She did not simply raise the bar, she broke through a ceiling that had never been touched before. More importantly, that ranking was earned through extraordinary performances rather than reputation alone. On June 7th, she captured the Lexus Birmingham Open, a WTA 125 grass court event, defeating Nikola Bardankova in a hard-fought three-set final to claim the first grass court title of her professional career and the second WTA 125 trophy overall. There was little time to celebrate because the Berlin Open followed immediately, presenting an even greater challenge. In the opening round, Eala defeated Donna Vekic, fresh off her Queen's Club title, in straight sets. The next hurdle appeared even higher when she faced reigning Australian Open champion and world number 2 Elena Rybakina. Instead of being overwhelmed, Eala produced the biggest victory of her career, winning in straight sets and proving that her breakthrough was no accident. She followed that performance with another impressive victory over Alina Svitolina to reach the semi-finals, defeating 3 world-class opponents in succession during one remarkable tournament. Although her run eventually ended in the semi-finals, the defeat did little to diminish what she had accomplished. When you step back and look at the entire journey, the scale of her rise becomes extraordinary. In the span of just a few weeks, a 21-year-old from a country with almost no tradition of producing elite tennis players captured her first grass court title, defeated Grand Slam champions and top-ranked stars, climbed into the world's top 30, and arrived at Wimbledon carrying the hopes of an entire nation. That is not simply a hot streak. It is the emergence of a player who has forced the tennis world to pay attention. Then came another statement victory over former Wimbledon semi-finalist Alina Svitolina, followed almost immediately by the opportunity to partner 5-time Wimbledon singles champion Venus Williams in doubles, all within the space of a single month. That is not the profile of a player enjoying a brief hot streak. It is the story of someone redefining what is possible for a nation that has never been part of tennis' traditional power structure, doing it on the very surface where she has the least professional experience. While Eala was sharing the court with Venus Williams in Bad Homburg, another fascinating possibility was quietly taking shape in the Wimbledon draw. Serena Williams was scheduled to face Maya Joint on center court that same Tuesday, while Eala prepared for her own opening round match against Mexico's Renata Zarazua on Court 12. If both players won, and that remains an important if, because nothing in Grand Slam tennis is guaranteed, they would meet in the second round. When the Los Angeles Times asked Eala about the potential matchup, her response revealed a level of maturity well beyond her years. She smiled at the possibility, but quickly shifted her attention back to the task immediately in front of her, saying she would love the opportunity to play Serena, but would first love to reach the second round. It was the answer of a player refusing to become distracted by the headlines. The bracket may have created a story worthy of Hollywood, but Eala understood that none of it mattered unless she first defeated the experienced Mexican standing across the net. Yet, even before any possible showdown, another pattern had already become impossible to ignore. Wherever Eala has competed this season, Filipino fans have followed. The Los Angeles Times documented how the support has grown from tournament to tournament. Nurses working in Birmingham came to cheer her on. Engineers living in Berlin packed sections of the Berlin Open. Students in Melbourne, families from Toronto, and overseas Filipinos from around the world have turned her matches into gathering places for an entire community. During the 2026 Australian Open, so many Filipino supporters lined up outside Court 6 that the venue struggled to accommodate them. Eala herself described Australia as feeling almost like home, while noting that Tagalog chants now echo around her matches in much the same way Portuguese songs have become synonymous with Brazilian star João Fonseca. It is one of the clearest examples of national fan culture spilling into professional tennis. So when Filipino flags wave across the stands at Court 12 during Wimbledon, they're not creating a new tradition. They are continuing one that has traveled from Melbourne to Birmingham to Berlin. The venue has changed, but the voices behind her have remained the same. That growing movement was perfectly captured by former world number 4, Grand Slam champion and ESPN analyst Mary Jo Fernandez, who told the Los Angeles Times that Eala was bringing a whole new demographic and crowd to watch our sport. Those words carry weight because they come from someone who has spent decades around professional tennis and has no reason to exaggerate. She was not describing a promising prospect. She was describing a genuine shift in the audience of the sport. Venus Williams echoed that belief after their partnership in Bad Homburg, calling Eala an extremely competitive player, while longtime coach Joan Bosch explained that his priority has always been keeping her focused on simple, achievable goals and praised her disciplined mindset. Three respected voices from different corners of the tennis world all arrived at the same conclusion. Alexandra Eala is no longer simply an emerging talent. She is becoming one of the sport's most compelling news stories. When viewed from a broader perspective, her rise becomes even more remarkable. The Philippines is one of the world's most populous nations, yet for decades it produced only one professional tennis player who ever reached the world's top 300. The comparisons drawn by the Los Angeles Times place Eala alongside trailblazers such as Li Na for China and Sania Mirza for India, players who did not inherit an established tennis culture, but helped create one themselves. That is the path Eala now walks. She is not following in someone else's footsteps. She is laying the foundation for those who will come after her. In a country where basketball and boxing have long dominated the sporting landscape, tennis has never enjoyed a deep professional tradition. That is why Fernandez's observation carries such significance. Before Eala, there were Filipinos who loved tennis, but there was no national figure capable of bringing that scattered passion together. Today there is. Broadcasters have noticed. Sponsors have noticed. The WTA has noticed. Most importantly, the next Filipino child who picks up a tennis racket, whether in Manila, Cebu, Cerritos, Dubai, or anywhere else in the world, will begin dreaming in a sport that finally has a path they can see because Alexandra Eala has helped create it. For the first time, young Filipino players can look at someone on the biggest stage in tennis and see a reflection of themselves. That path did not exist until Alexandra Eala created it through an unforgettable month on grass. Yet every remarkable story deserves an honest perspective, and Eala's rise has not been without setbacks. Her impressive run at the Berlin Open came to an end in the semifinals, reminding everyone that even breakthrough tournaments have their limits. Earlier in the season, she also suffered 2 defeats to rising American talent Iva Jovic, who nevertheless spoke highly of her in an interview with the Los Angeles Times, describing Eala as a player who takes the ball incredibly early, calling her dangerous on court while also praising her character away from it. Those comments carried extra weight because they came from an opponent who had consistently found ways to beat her. They also served as a reminder that Eala's game, especially on grass, is still evolving. She has only recently added the surface to her list of strengths, and despite everything she has accomplished, she remains relatively new to competing at this level on grass. That is why her opening round match at Wimbledon could unfold in countless different ways. Nothing has been guaranteed, and Eala herself has never pretended otherwise. Instead, she has returned to the same philosophy she shared with the Los Angeles Times. Pressure only has the power that you allow it to have. It is not a promise of victory, nor is it an attempt to ignore the expectations surrounding her. It is simply the mindset she has chosen to carry onto court 12. In many ways, that outlook perfectly reflects the journey that brought her here. The most important milestone was never going to be determined by a single Wimbledon scoreboard. It had already been achieved the moment the tournament announced its seedings. The gap of 254 ranking places between Eala and the highest-ranked Filipina before her had already been erased before the opening serve was ever struck. What Mary Jo Fernandez described as next level did not suddenly appear at Wimbledon. It was built over months of hard work through Melbourne, Birmingham, Berlin, and every tournament that gradually transformed belief into proof. That is why Eala now walks onto one of tennis' greatest stages carrying a responsibility that no Filipino player before her had ever been asked to shoulder. One moment from the Los Angeles Times feature captures that transformation perfectly. Eala recalled swimming off the coast of Boracay when Filipino fans recognized her even in the water. Laughing about the experience, she admitted that no place feels unexpected anymore. That simple observation says everything. The distance between a beach in the Philippines and a grass court in southwest London once represented an impossible dream. Today, that distance has disappeared. Whatever happens against Renata Zarazua, and whatever possibilities may await beyond the first round, Alexandra Eala has already accomplished something historic. She has proven that she belongs on tennis' biggest stage, not as a guest, but as a genuine contender. And if this remarkable Wimbledon journey continues, we'll be here to follow every chapter, from the second round and beyond. Subscribe and we'll see you on Court 12.